All right, we're back, and we are now going to create the stair for our house. Now, what we're looking on is the main floor plan again. We see we have a down here that goes down the basement, and that's where the door is. And we talked about that door in the last video. Now, if we're going down, then it's opposite from the basement coming up. So this is where we exit out of the basement. Okay, now when you do stairs in Revit, you go from the lower level to the level above. So we're just going to go from basement to main floor. And so we've got to start in the way it shows here going up to the second floor. So then go up is going to be on the right-hand side of that opening and then come up around. This is a U-shaped stair. So your common shapes of stair are straight run, where it's just a straight stair. Then we have a U-shape, L-shape, and then multiple configurations of those combinations. So you can have angles, you can have zigzags and back and forths and turnarounds and spirals and winding stairs. Now with your spiral stairs, they cannot be your primary stair in the house. They have to be a secondary stair. So if you're doing like a spiral staircase from the bedrooms in the second floor down to the kitchen, that would work fine. But you can't get furniture up a spiral staircase, so they are secondary stairs. But everything else is primary. All right, so let's go look at our plan again. So here we are. So we're going to start here and go up, which is why I say this wall may not be so needed. All right, so we're going to create our stair first. We have to do our settings. So go architecture, find our stair tool, clear over here in circulation. So we click on stair. And now we have to go about creating that type of stair. So there are multiple ways. More advanced, you could draw and create your stair from scratch, which lets you do things like waterfall stairs like the one shown here. Or you can move in and do your auto stair, which is a straight run stair. So the straight run becomes everything else. Now, if you're doing the custom stair, create a stair, you have to create the runs, the landings, and the supports. When you use the auto tool, you have the ability just to drag and drop, basically. But we have here is the way you do your spiral stair, your center end stairs, your winders. And on winders, just real brief, let's see if we can get that video to load here. I am not a fan of winder stairs. They are your most dangerous stairs. Your steps tend to be wedge-shaped or pie-shaped, and so they're narrow on the inside of the stair and wide on the outside, more likely to cause people to fall and trip up on those stairs. So I try to avoid the winders. They do take less space. There's no doubt about it, but they are much more treacherous and dangerous to use. So if I was just to make a straight run stair, I would just click on stair and I'd come over to my properties. And I would say, okay, we're going to do it by the middle of the stair. Here we look at our middle banner. We're not worried about offset. It's going to be 3 feet wide. It's going to create automatic landings. And it's going to go from the basement level up to the main level floor plan. So we got to go main level. And then we just literally pick a point on the drawing. And as I start moving from that point, it's going to count down how many steps are left. So I've used 3 risers, 4, 5, 6. Now, and there's 10 left. So there's always going to be one more riser than there are stairs when you do a stair plan. The floor of the next floor becomes that last step. So as we go all the way down here, I'm going to have that 16th riser, which is 17 steps. Okay, so kind of how that works. But I would just pop it in, and that's a stair. Check it off. Save my work because it's been a few minutes. And then if I just jump into 3D, I'm not going to see it because it's on the inside of my house. Isn't that spiffy? Well, there's a stair right there. Comes up right to the floor. If I tip it a little bit, just like 2 big old shark fins. Okay. So if we want to go ahead and I'll move this out so you can see a little bit better. Let's do a move. Take this whole stair and move it to the outside of the house. Stairs can be created pretty much anywhere. They're not bound by being inside the proper. But there is our stair. Now these railings you can select, you can change. So if you want to do pipe, you can change it to a pipe railing. You can go in and say, nope, I think I want more of a metal and wood type, so it's a little more fancy. You can change those railings out. You can also just say, I only need it on one side. And if your stairway is 3 feet in a residence, you only need one stair rail. So you can actually get rid of one if you'd like. So you just delete it and away it goes. And then you can go in and you can go to the materials, and that's going to be in the edit type. And if you want to change the color, so maybe I want this to be, the railings to be closed. Right now they're open. If I do closed and apply that, now I have a skirt board that goes across there, kind of trim board, make it look a little different. And then you can put your stairs in. Okay. So what we're going to do is create a U stair. So go back to basement plan, and I'm going to go ahead and delete this one. Then we're going to go back into stairs. So architecture, stairs. And again, we got to come change our top level. So back to the main level floor line. I'm going to use the same setting. It'd still be a straight run stair, but I'm looking, I need 16. So half of 16 is 8. So I'm going to zoom up on here. Still going to go 3 feet wide. That's your minimum stair width, just like a hallway. Has to be 3 feet. So I'm going to start here, and then go 8 risers. Right there, stop, and click. Now that stair is not finished because I need 16. I've only used 8. But now they come off this corner and come over to the side and go back the other direction and do the final 8 and create my stair. Now I just kind of exaggerate that a little bit. And the reason for that is I'm going to come in here now and I'm going to pull this together. So you can use the arrow key and just slide them close together. And you can leave enough room for a wall there, or you can just leave it open. Either way is fine and acceptable. It really just depends on what you want that stair to look like and what the style of it is. If you put a wall there, that's fine, or you can come relatively close, but you do have to leave enough room for railing with somebody there. So once you're satisfied, we go start here and then go up and out. So check that off. And I've got a lot of overlap in there, probably a wee bit too much. So I need to put a little more space in. So that means I'm just going to go click on the stair and then come up here to edit stairs. And I take this piece here again. I'm just going to move it out just a little bit. And so I have a little bit of a gap in there. Okay. Now, once that stair is created, let's take a look at it in 3D while you can see it. That is what that's going to look like. And again, you can change your railings or just leave it like it is. I'm going to kind of just leave it like it is. I kind of like it. I'm going to go to the top view of this, though, and zoom up on it. And what I'm looking at is the position of the railings on the stairs themselves. And so they're kind of in there pretty tight, and I'm not too concerned about it. Notice this side has that carriage board on it because I didn't change that out. So let's go back, edit type. I've got closed. This one's open. Let's put closed on this one as well. And apply that. And so I can now have that closed board. It just kind of helps to trim things off just a little bit. But if I look, now my balusters are coming inside that board. Oh, well, goodness gracious. I don't know if I like that very much. So I look here, and you can't really see it so well. It's there, but it's not. So what I'm going to do, we're going to bounce back and forth a little bit here. Then go ahead and select that. Here's my offset. I'm going to increase that to 2 inches. I'm going to apply that. And what I'm doing is just trying to make sure it's just on the inside of that skirt. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other side. Make that one 2. And you can try to 1.5, whichever way you want to go with that. But there we go. I kind of whitewashed myself out there. Okay, so that kind of creates the stair. Let me change my rendering here. There we go. Get that back in to where we want it. Okay, so now I can see where my stair tweaking is and how I've done it. That might be problematic there, but again, it might be the angle I'm looking at. All right, so back to the basement plan. So now I'm happy this stair has to go in this spot, and it's already looking like probably not. So we might have to do some fixing. So we then do a move, modify, move, select the whole stair, right click and finish, and then grab this upper right hand corner right here, and I'm going to move that all the way over to here, and oh, it is not going to fit in that spot. So this is where we have to do some now major redesigns. So if I place that there, I can see that it's got a wall here, and these walls here, I can probably work with that, sort of, but I do need to make some changes to the floor above. So one of those is this. Now, I do need to make sure that there is 3 feet in between these spaces so I can use it. And that, okay, so I've got a little bit of room there. And so if I move 4 inches, should be okay. So I'm going to move this wall down, and right there. So we can put that at 3 inches here, just adjusting that wall position. So it should be right flush. So I've got plenty of room there for a hallway, so I can get back and do rooms with this and doorways and so forth. And then this side is already fitting in. So that part's good. And then this wall here is going to go by. It's not going to be needed, so we're going to put a stair above. So there's that. We're going up. Let's go to the main floor and fix. So here's where that stair comes up. And so this wall is in the right place. This wall is not, which means I've got to move all of this to make this work. And so we got some things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that underlay area of my properties. Missed it. I'm going to change it to basement level, basement floor line. And this is going to go up to main level floor line. And so this is where that stair is. Now the reason I'm not seeing it is I have a floor over this. So remember back in our 3D view, we put in that wood floor, which is what's here. And so now I can't see for the sake of things. So I'm going to go ahead and select that floor, hopefully. Maybe. I'll find the right edge. So we can tab through. This is where it gets a little tricky. I'll show you a trick to it. So if you put your cursor right by where the seam is, you should be able to hit the tab key and toggle through different things. But if that's not working for you, in this case it's being a little stubborn, you go into your section. And I need this floor that we put in here, the space holder floor. I need to select that. Then I go back to the main floor. It's selected. Now I can edit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a rectangle and I'm going to draw another shape inside the shape. And what that does, it creates a hole. And that's going to come over to here. And so when I do that, I check that off. Now I can go back to 3D. And there's my stair. It's all open and exposed. Now, granted, I still got some things to fix the walls. Not a big worry. What I do want to worry about is what I'm going to do with this wall system. Okay, because I've got a tight door here. This door's pretty tight. Not terrible, but I do need to move this wall down. So I'm going to do a move. This door, control key, this wall. And we're going to finish that selection. And I'm actually just take the wall thickness and go from one end to the next. So I basically just flip the wall over. I still have plenty of room here for what's going on with my door. I do need to adjust the floor line a little bit, if I can get a hold of that. It's a little trickier sometimes. But again, I go back to the section, and I find my floor. Go back to the 3D view, or sorry, main floor view. Edit that boundary. And grab the wrong floor. I got the top floor. So what we want is this will go right in here. If I can get that. And I might have to do some different tweaks there. So we can get it in 3D. Pick the right room. This carpet, there it is. This is what I probably want to edit. So I'll go edit boundary. And that one's fine. Nope, gotta fix this over here. Okay, so we're then do drag this down. Drag this down. 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 So just adjusting. This is one of the reasons why I didn't really do much with this closet earlier. I'm still got to put a rod or something in there, but I got to get everything else figured out as we go. Okay, and that fixes that. So this tile in here, we're going to do that one next. So I'm going to come out here, select, back to plan, edit that boundary. And I need to pull this down and pull this one down where that door shifted. And that fixes that. Okay, so little things make big changes. And there we got our stair. Now, as this stair comes up, it's got a door. And unfortunately, the stairs got to stick up into that doorway, which means that wall needs to move. And that could be a temporary fix or it could be a long-term thing. I think we make it long-term, which means I got to move it about the thickness of the wall. I'm just going to move this wall completely. Now I can pick the wall and not do anything with the door because the doors are assigned to the walls. So do a move. Then go from one side of the thickness to the next. And that will then come. So this handrail is going to run into the wall. And that's fine. If they ever decide to do a finished basement on this house, then we take the door off and we adjust the railings. But right now, that would work. So let's take a look at it in 3D. And that's a nice staircase set up. And we're kind of good. We might tweak that a little bit more later. Okay, so there we got our stair. We'll need to put another stair on top of this one. So they can overlap, but we'll do that when we get the second floor figured out. All right, back to our basement. So now I've got walls adjusted, stair fits well. Let's put a mechanical room in here and get that. So we're going to go ahead and stop, let you get that stair tweaked, and we'll come back into the mechanical room.